we have started to record the most recent session of SPCH 1113, Introduction to Public Speaking, for the first summer session. The end is in sight in a good way. It is Thursday evening, June 20th, 2024. I have some persuasive speeches to play. I also have a short video clip from yesterday's session 14 reminding all of you of the specifics of how you can present, write your self-evaluation speech critique. I also have a couple of wildcard speeches just to remind you that next week not only is the last week of the first summer session, but you have the option to talk about the subject of your choice. I have two in my archive that I will tack on at the end of tonight's presentation. But we begin this evening in just a moment with Emma and her persuasive topic, why virtual reality is helpful with education. If any of you are still recording your informative or persuasive speeches, please make certain that I get them over the weekend so I can play them either Monday or Tuesday of next week. Every score that you see in the grade book on Blackboard Ultra has been from a speech that has been recorded, sent to me, and played in class on an instructor course video. Improvement is really important, which is why that video segment that I am going to play from yesterday's instructor course video regarding the self-evaluation speech critique and other bits and pieces from that class is really important. That's how you're going to improve as time goes on. And you'll notice in my case, I feel my improvement as a professor using a new video recording platform is improving as time goes on. Despite the fact that I've been doing this for a long time, mass communication and speech are my specialties, but working on the Loom platform is different than what I have been doing most recently with Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, which is why the course sessions are getting longer, while I feel more comfortable now in the bottom right-hand corner with the webcam. And in your case, the level of comfort that all of you display, something that I had indicated yesterday, looking at some of the persuasive speeches from years gone by. But we begin this evening with Emma, why virtual reality is helpful with education. She's moved her webcam for her title slide. Always keep in mind, by the way, that if you record on Loom, hopefully, like me, and I pay for the privilege of it, a transcript is being presented. So not only can you check the closed captioning in real time on the screen, as we do, but hopefully you can also see it on the right-hand side. Don't leave anything for chance in this class. And as you know, keep this in mind, and it's the same coffee mug as yesterday. This is not a shameless plug for Starbucks, but the glass really is more than half full. As I had indicated a moment ago, if any of you are encountering difficulty with your connectivity, with recording on a video platform, just keep working at it. Send me the final product. I'll take that into account when I grade you. You don't want to be in a position when we conclude 1 week from today, any speeches may not have been submitted. Our first persuasive speech is Emma, why virtual reality is helpful with education, and here it is.
Hi, my name is Emma Johnson, and this is my persuasive speech on why virtual reality is helpful with education. What is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a technology-based experience that creates 3D interactions for the user of the virtual reality. It is designed for any age, and it has many uses, and it's a very useful tool. It gives you an opportunity to experience a virtual world without any boundaries, and it's as if you were actually experiencing it in real life. The ways VR is used. There are three different main ways that virtual reality can be used. It can be used for entertainment, education, or healthcare. For entertainment, many people use virtual reality for video games or just like fun simulations. It allows the players to experience a more realistic version of gameplay. Or there's education. Students can use VR to help experience and learn things in the classroom that are outside of the classroom. It also helps students learn in different ways using VR. And in healthcare workers can use VR for medical training and help give them the same in-person experience, but it's virtual. So if you make a mistake, it is fixable and you can try again until you go through without any errors. And it also is found to be very helpful with patients with mental health issues as well. Education. Virtual reality gives students of all ages opportunities to learn and experience things that they may not be able to experience outside the classroom. Students can learn an endless amount of things, but a few are how certain medical procedures are done, how to use tools in different carpentry settings, how to work on automobiles. They have different tutorials and simulations, and it gives the students an opportunity to explore and learn in a virtual world. Virtual reality is also helpful with kids with certain disabilities. It helps them practice certain skills in a real life but virtual setting and gives them an opportunity to learn better. There's another thing that students really seem to like is virtual field trips, because it saves you the money and obviously the grief of traveling and everything. And you can go any place, obviously, and explore. It's obviously a lot easier to explore and go on a field trip through virtual reality than to go somewhere far, far away just to go see it. Using virtual reality, they can explore and do anything just right in the classroom. They don't have to go anywhere, which is very convenient and helpful. Virtual reality also helps students get more connected with technology and have more experience working with technology as it evolves over time, because virtual reality is part of modern technology and it has many benefits and helps students learn more about technology as it evolves over time. Medical education. Virtual reality is also really valuable and beneficial for medical workers as well as some patients. For patients, it can allow patients to explore and cope with certain mental illnesses, and it can be a sort of a treatment for them as well. It has shown a lot of good results in calming anxiety, and it also showed improvements with other mental illnesses, but mostly anxiety. It can also help educate patients a little bit more about medical procedures or their condition and treatments. But the bigger benefit here is when healthcare workers use virtual reality for training, and it gives them an opportunity to practice and learn procedures virtually before they practice them in real life. It is a really efficient learning tool for medical workers that are still in training or medical school. VR also provides tutorials to help learn, and then afterwards you can be put in a simulation to test your skills. VR also has helped prevent any future errors when working on actual people and doing the actual medical procedure. This way they get more form of experience and education before doing the real thing. And now I have a short video to watch.
So when we started this project, we were thinking about, we have this VR headset, we have this technology, what are we doing with this?
I thought this would be a great time to be able to have the students explore the inside of a cell. One of the things that I do with students is we go through our microscopes, we do labeling of organelles, we do misconception probes. One of the things that I haven't been able to show them is the fact the organelles move inside the cytoplasm.
The objective for VR was to give students a chance to go inside the cell and see the organelles move, have them experience the inside of the cell.
We put that on and basically went and explore like what's inside the cells.
I watched like cell videos inside the cells, what role they have.
What I saw before was like basic, diagrams. And I couldn't get the real picture of the inside, but when I used the VR thing, like I could look around and then real stuff, like stuff moving.
And so it became like a 30-minute field trip. They all enjoyed it. They were able to reflect about all the things they learned just from that short experience.
There are plenty of uses for virtual trips, for any kind of places where it's physically not possible to go, whether to go inside the cell or go to an ancient historic site. VR, I think, it's a real wonderful opportunity to get students like first exposure, to get them excited, and then you can delve into the actual lesson and then maybe supplement that with periodic VR experiences.
I would suggest anyone out there who wants to take their kids somewhere that they may not be able to go to, whether it's a place or a field trip, those 360 videos on there are wonderful opportunities for our kids to really have an applied learning experience.
Okay, that's the end of the video, and these are my resources, and that is all I have today.
Emma, nice way to end the speech by playing a video clip. And the more that you become comfortable with working with technology during a presentation, the more you are going to be able to seamlessly integrate video clips or websites in. Remember, if you took a deep dive into yesterday's class session, number 14, I showed you an outline that's available on my website from an international student, first summer session 2015, talking about the importance of online education. She did have a link to a website on at least one of her slides, and probably in the classroom utilized that because up until the pandemic, all of my courses were taught in Overstreet Hall in one classroom or another. Over the past 12 years, they've been in interactive classrooms on the third floor. The bottom line is this. You're still speaking roughly about 4 to 7 minutes, I'm guessing. In her case, it was a little bit over 7. An advantage of interactivity is that it gives you not only a buffer as a transitional device from one point on your outline to the next, but it gives you a little bit of comfort knowing I probably have 4 to 5 minutes worth of speaking material, but this video clip in Emma's case that I'm playing makes me feel comfortable because I know I'm not going to have any issues on the short side of 4 to 6 minutes. I give you a lot of leeway during the summer because you're doing 4 major graded presentations in 4 weeks, but always keep that in mind. You want to game plan your topic. What is your content? What are your visuals? How are you going to practice your delivery? Those 3 elements that are on the SAU speech critique. The video playback, as you know, with me being a media person, is crucial to your online success. That's why right at the beginning of tonight's class, I was talking about the self-evaluation speech critique, which we will get to in a few minutes. Let's recycle.
Hi, my name is Emma Johnson, and this is my persuasive speech on
Mute. Now you're seeing closed captioning in 2 places. Directly above my webcam, you can tell that Emma is speaking incomplete sentences. Again, I don't know for those of you who are using the 30-day free Loom trial subscription, or those of you who have paid, whether or not you get a transcript. I'm paying an additional $5 a month to get AI-generated transcripts and headlines and summaries. On the right-hand side, above my head, we're closing in on 1 minute. She's defining the term. She's talking about how virtual reality is used. It's okay when you look at her eyes, looking at some of the data for entertainment, education, and healthcare on the ways VR is used slide. As long as you're establishing a little bit of eye contact and looking up, that's okay. And I don't call that cheating. I call it research and practice. I'm guessing in Emma's case and Marilyn, who is coming up next, if you showed me a screenshot of your archives on Loom, you probably still have takes that we haven't seen. Now she's transitioning into education. Quote, virtual reality, right here, gives students of all ages opportunities to learn and experience things that they may not be able to experience outside the classroom. So that paragraphing structure is her comfort zone. She has the headline, a photo, another photo, and as I take off the smaller closed captioning, this photo. Now let's pick up her audio. Remember, this is the third of four speeches. Let's check out her comfort level with being extemporaneous and conversational.
The grief of traveling and everything, and you can go any place, obviously, and explore. It's obviously a lot easier to explore and go on a field trip through virtual reality than to go somewhere far, far away just to go see it. Using virtual reality, they can...
Now we will mute it again. I did notice a vocalic and but it's a small thing. If you can go through a major graded presentation with just a handful of uhs or ums or drop Gs or gonna, wanna, kinda, or a filler word, and this is where I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I told you before, I will say and or now. All of that's helpful. So what have I done? We're basically, as we were doing yesterday with persuasive presentations from years gone by, looking at all of the speeches, including yours, really in totality twice. Because it's not only how you learn, does she have the slides in such an order that's going to stimulate her persuasive thesis on the importance of virtual reality in education. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and play this because in just about a minute or so, I'm going to bring the audio back up when she transitions into the video clip. How does she do that? Let's pick up her audio one more time and see how she makes that transition. Put the closed captioning back up here also.
In real life. It is a really efficient learning tool for medical workers that are still in training or medical school. VR also provides tutorials to help learn, and then afterwards you can be put in a simulation to test your skills. VR also has helped prevent any future errors when working on actual people and doing the actual medical procedure. This way they get more form of experience in education before doing the real thing. And now I have a short video to watch.
Now let's pause this for just a moment. She incorporates this very well, short transitional device verbally, and then she's going to play this for the better part of roughly 90 seconds or so. That's okay. As long as you're in the area of 4 to 6 minutes for your speech, if you feel a video that's slightly longer, without breaking it up and taking it out of context is appropriate, that's fine. Let's watch a little bit of this, taking the closed captioning off and bringing the audio back up. Let's move back just a little bit. Here's her transition.
Procedure. This way they get more form of experience in education before doing the real thing. And now I have a short video to watch.
So when we started this project, we were thinking about, we have this VR headset, we have this technology, what are we doing with this?
I thought this would be a great time to be able to have the students explore the inside of a cell. One of the things that I do with students is we go through our microscopes,
I'm going to continue to let the speech play in real time and talk over this until just before her conclusion. What she is doing is an effective visual strategy. Remember, guys, if we're in a face-to-face classroom, we're going to be in Overstreet Hall, room 302. There's going to be a wide screen behind you, and she has this set up pretty much the same way. The only difference, more than likely, is the video potentially could be full screen, but she can leave it that way. The only visual difference would be the webcam would be gone. So always for your persuasive speech, what's a nice methodology in terms of wrapping up the presentation? We're in the last 45 seconds or so. Let's check it out.
Trips for any kind of places where it's physically not possible to go, whether to go inside the cell or go to an ancient historic site. VR, I think, it's a really wonderful opportunity to get students like first exposure, to get them excited, and then you can delve into the actual lesson and then maybe supplement that with periodic VR experiences.
I would suggest anyone out there who wants to take their kids somewhere that they may not be able to go to, whether it's a place or a field trip, those 360 videos on there are wonderful opportunities for our kids to really have an applied learning experience.
Okay, that's the end of the video, and these are my resources, and that is all I have today.
And that is the end of her presentation. Slide construction, title slide, why VR is helpful with education. What is it? The way it's used, education. And by the way, I should mention, and look at me while I'm saying this, if you're doing it properly, as I do with the instructor course videos, you're probably to a degree going to be sick of looking at yourself, your transitions, your visuals. I would say that's the time when you're getting it. When you watch it so often, you know what you look like, you know what you sound like, you know what your visuals are going to be. You can anticipate where the vocalics, the drop G's, the grammar or slang might come in. You go back and watch some of my instructor course videos and realize Professor Reppert said those pauses will seem much longer in reality than they actually are. Then you know you're on the right track. We move on from education to medical education. There we go. Took a while for it to come up on the screen. And then we transition into the video clip on e-learning, the video itself, and then right at the end where she's on the screen. For those of you who are speaking, especially tonight, on the first night, we can really dive into these in detail, the same way that you would be doing in your dorm rooms or at home. So when I'm breaking these down, I'm always trying to do it in a positive, constructive way. What works for Emma in her storytelling, what works for her in terms of her research. You'll notice as we scroll back just a little bit here, I'll play this in real time and mute it. I want to see her concluding slide. If you want to include resources, as she does right here with interactive links, that's okay. You don't necessarily have to. But do you, thinking about the self-evaluation speech critique again, do you see improvement with Emma going first, or Marilyn next, or our third presenter, Kadaya? Let's see with all three. So Emma, in terms of what is virtual reality? Again, an excellent, persuasive presentation. We move on to our second persuasive speech of the evening, and this is from Marilyn. Waiting for my tab to be on the screen. Her topic is why you should donate blood. If you stay on the Southern Arkansas University campus, you will notice on 2 or 3 occasions during each semester, there will be usually a Life Share mobile unit at the rental center for blood donations. This is our second persuasive speech of the evening. Marilyn is discussing why you should donate blood, and here it is.
Hi, my name is Maria Knuckles, and this is my speech for the third week of Introduction to Public Speaking for the first summer session. I will be presenting to you all today about why you should donate blood. I also would like to say before we begin that this presentation might not be for everyone, and I can understand that, and I know some of you may be uncomfortable with blood or needles, so I just wanted to give a fair notice. What is blood donation? Blood donation is a form of volunteering. It's a procedure that helps to save lives. You will go into a room or into a center, and they will sterilize you after asking you many questions and make sure that you are eligible to donate. And then they will take whole blood unless you sign up for plasma or a different type of donation process. It's a way to provide your blood to those in need. It's something that many people can do. Not everyone can do it, but a lot of people can, and it helps tremendously. The purpose of donating. Donating blood can give to individuals who need it most, especially those who need a transfusion. Transfusions are used to replace blood loss during a surgery, or blood loss from injuries, or any sort of trauma. They can help people who are unable to make blood correctly on their own because of a disorder or a disease, and they are very important. Every 2 seconds in the United States, another person will need blood. And around 5 million Americans each year need to have a blood transfusion. Who's eligible to donate? People who are at least 16 years of age, with parental permission, of course, if you are 16, who weigh at least 110 pounds, are in good health and feeling well, and who wait at least 56 days following your last appointment to donate blood, are all eligible to donate. Now, there are a lot of other things involved whenever you are trying to donate blood, and you can find more advanced requirements at through research or at your location that you're choosing to donate with. Now, some of these might include you being unable to take certain medications before, like aspirin, other medications that are on a medication deferral list from your donation facility will be provided to you. They will tell you what you can and cannot be on, or what you can and cannot take. If you have alcohol in your system, obviously you're not allowed to donate. Those who have certain disorders or diseases such as diabetes, who are on blood thinners, so on and so forth. A lot of those people are not able to donate as well. But if you are feeling well and you are in good health, then you should be good to go. What kind of blood? Now, this is a question that a lot of people might be wondering. So let's talk about some of the types. In blood donation, they take all types. Now, O negative and O positive are in the highest demand because they are used most often, and O positive is donated the most as it's the most common blood type in the world. And O negative might be one of the rarer ones, but it helps everyone. You can, as seen in this photo here, you can give blood to everyone if you are O negative. You can receive blood from everyone if you're AB positive, but all of the other ones have certain people that they can give to or they can receive from. All blood is good blood. As long as you are healthy, all blood is good blood. So lucky for you, there is a type for you. You have a type. Who could receive blood? People of all ages can receive blood. Those who require blood often include anemic patients, cancer patients, accident or burn victims, transplant and trauma patients, and patients undergoing heart surgery. This image may be a little difficult to look at, although he is smiling in the picture, but this is Felix, a childhood cancer patient. He had leukemia, and he had to deal with several blood transfusions among other medical procedures. And this is just one of the examples as to why you should donate blood. You help so many people, including children, families, elderly individuals, babies, adults, teenagers your age, or adults your age. Everyone can benefit from receiving blood if they need it, and everyone can benefit from donating it if you're able to. Where can you donate? There are several locations that you can donate at around Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Texas. I mention these states specifically because they are in our surrounding territory, and also I'm from Arkansas. Some of the blood centers include our Blood Institute, and I've included a link for each of these places. LifeShare Blood Center, which in Magnolia, that is one that comes to the school very often, Southern Arkansas University. You might recognize this image here. This is the LifeShare Blood Center blood bus, and they come to the school quite often, and you are able to go inside after you sign up from an appointment online, or you can just be a walk-in, and you're able to donate blood as long as you fit within the criteria. Another one of those pieces of information that is necessary is if you have low iron, you might not be able to donate blood. I have donated multiple times, and I've received multiple things from that, but a piece of information that I've received on a couple of occasions before I got on iron supplements was that my iron was too low, actually. I had to start taking iron supplements to get up to 12.5 for my hemoglobin levels in order to donate, and now I'm able to do it again. Another one includes Community Blood Center of the Ozarks, and these are some of the places to donate. How will it benefit you? I know that's something that you're probably wondering. You get to help others for free. You don't have to pay anything. You can support your community as well, or those who you love and care about who need help too. You get to gain personal satisfaction in doing this, and you can receive a gift in return. This is something that LifeShare Blood Center often does. They will hand out gift cards or t-shirts or so many things. Whenever I've donated blood, I've received multiple t-shirts, I've received an umbrella, and I've even received a reusable water bottle. Now, I don't donate in order to receive these objects. I donate because I want to help people, but everyone has a different motive, and everyone should do it just because it is good and it's helpful. And best of all, you become a lifesaver. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I hope you've learned a little bit more about donating blood, and I really hope that you intend to donate blood in the future. Thank you.
It's not unusual, as you have seen with both of our speakers, that your time limit runs a little bit longer. That's certainly something that happens in many of my courses. Let's put on the closed captioning. Let's mute the audio and check out the beginning of her speech. Like what we saw previously with Emma, on the right-hand side, directly above my webcam, you can see her complete sentence paragraphing structure, and the way many of you will see it using Loom on the left-hand side with black and white. She decides to go bottom left for her slides. Blood donation, by the way, is an excellent persuasive topic. Remember, she gets to a slide that discusses all of the blood types, who can donate, who can receive what type of blood. There are probably many people that you know who, if they're not carrying a card in their wallet or in their purse, don't necessarily know their blood type. Bottom left-hand portion of the screen for the webcam, which, as you know by now, is the default position on Loom. Both of our speeches so far are very attractive when it comes to the aesthetic nature of the slides. The headlines, the bullet points, all are helping Marilyn, in addition to the generic images or photos, assist her, as you can see here and here, remain extemporaneous. Let's take this closed captioning off and listen to a bit of her improvement with delivery.
To donate blood are all eligible to donate. Now, there are a lot of other things involved whenever you are trying to donate blood, and you can find more advanced requirements at through research or at your location that you're choosing to donate with. Now, some of these might include you being unable to take certain medications before, like aspirin, other medications that are on a medication deferral list from your donation facility will be provided to you. They will tell you what you can and cannot be on, or what you can and cannot take.
In addition to listening to different types of improvement that she is making, look at her eyes. Both of our speakers this evening are making a concerted effort in different ways to be extemporaneous, and that's where the conversationality will flow. This is what I was mentioning a moment ago. If you are type A plus to type AB minus, that is so helpful for someone who may not necessarily know. AB plus, O minus, the only ones where everyone is part of the equation. That's a relevant point. All blood is good blood. Let's move to roughly the last minute and a half to minute 45 and pick this up in real time. I intentionally don't watch these speeches until we're actually recording. Whenever I said live share, I was thinking about SAU, and she has interactivity to a number of different locations in the Arklatex where you can donate blood, and Oklahoma. Here is the last minute and a half with audio.
hemoglobin levels in order to donate, and now I'm able to do it again. Another one includes Community Blood Center of the Ozarks, and these are some of the places to donate. How will it benefit you? I know that's something that you're probably wondering. You get to help others for free. You don't have to pay anything. You can support your community as well, or those who you love and care about who need help too. You get to gain personal satisfaction in doing this, and you can receive a gift in return. This is something that LifeShare Blood Center often does. They will hand out gift cards or t-shirts or so many things. Whenever I've donated blood, I've received multiple t-shirts, I've received an umbrella, and I've even received a reusable water bottle. Now, I don't donate in order to receive these objects. I donate because I want to help people, but everyone has a different motive, and everyone should do it just because it is good and it's helpful. And best of all, you become a lifesaver. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have had a wonderful day, and I hope you've learned a little bit more about donating blood, and I really hope that you intend to donate blood in the future. Thank you.
Notice how she wrapped that up. Let's go back, mute the audio, play roughly about the last 20 to 30 seconds. Notice how, as what we were watching previously with Emma, she has a compelling conclusion. Look at the closed captioning, in this case, particularly in black. I donate because I want to help people. Everyone should do it because it's good and it's helpful. Best of all, you become a lifesaver. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've had a wonderful day. I hope you donate blood in the future. And then she wraps it up and really waits a long time, 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3. Before we get to her slides, you'll notice that I made a verbal faux pas, but we're close to 1 hour into this. I'm not going to stop the tape, so to speak, and rewind and start over again. You just have to press on. In these circumstances, as a professor, I don't believe in editing the video online. We just let it go on. It's one of those things where you can't do anything about it, so you just keep going. You just laugh about it. Hear and learn not to do it again. Why you should donate blood. Title slide. What is blood donation? I do this with YouTube as well. Scrolling along, looking for the next visual, the purpose of donating. Who is eligible to donate? 4 or 5 things are going on here. If you're like me, you're looking at your classmates. Marilyn's looking at herself. The quality of the slide, the color, the headline, the bullet points. Is she remaining extemporaneous and conversational? Where are her eyes? Can we hear her clearly? Yes. Is her webcam providing quality light? Yes. And then we just move on. What kind of blood? One of the most valuable visuals that she provides. You can assume everyone knows about it. Who can receive blood? She's going back and forth with different palettes, different pastels for her colors of slides, which is appropriate, attractive. Everything blends well together. She's got a bit of interactivity there at the bottom underneath the cancer patient. Where to donate with the LifeShare mobile unit. How does it benefit you with the t-shirt? And of course, you have the gift certificates or the gift cards from regional establishments. And we get to her final slide. I wanted to include this because some of you will have a generic thank you slide. and that's certainly fine. Just remember to pause for a few seconds when you're done. As I'd indicated a moment ago, we're roughly about 1 hour into class, and we have technically looked into 2 persuasive speeches from Summer 1, 2024 in detail. We won't be able to do that as much next week for those of you who still need to give me a persuasive speech or an informative speech. We'll be doing it, but probably not to this great a degree. More than likely, 1 week from today, or possibly going into Friday, recording our last class session with wildcard speeches, those of you, probably Emma and Marilyn, I'll spend as much time breaking down the speeches. All of you can learn from this. Even if you are looking at your own presentation on the recording platform of your choice with videos that we never see at home. Good job from each of our first 2 presenters this evening. That brings us to our third speech, which I'll put on the screen. And I'm pretty certain that in this mode, you are going to see my webcam at the bottom of the screen. But we have Kadaya, who is discussing exercise. And in this format, which is Canva, including video, there is a closed captioning element which will probably play back. Our third presenter of the evening discussing exercise, here it is.
Activities every day. Exercise controls weight. Exercise can prevent.
And for some reason, it did not start at the beginning. So let's go to 000. Not a problem. I want every second to be included. So here she is.
Should you exercise every day? Oh, persuasive speech by me. Should you exercise every day? Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activities every day. Exercise controls weight. Exercise can prevent excess weight gain or help you keep off lost weight. Exercise comeback helps conditions and diseases. Exercise improves moods. Exercise boosts energy. Exercise promotes better sleep. Exercise can be fun and social. Me, I exercise. Well, I play AAU basketball, so I exercise every day. Like, I run every day. Well, not every day, like 2 days out the week. Beginner of exercise. Begin within 2 weeks of exercise, the body starts to undergo biological change in muscle size that can lead to weight gain. What happens when you do not exercise? Physical inactivities can lead to greater risk for major health problems, from heart diseases and diabetes to early death. Your muscles weaken and lose bulk, including the muscles you need for breathing and the large muscles in your leg and arms. You will become more breathless as you do less activities. If you continue to be inactive, you will feel worse, need more help, and eventually even simple daily tasks will be difficult. What's the side effects of not exercising? Heart diseases, these are the things that could possibly happen if you don't move, don't work out, don't exercise at all. Heart diseases including coronary arteries disease and heart attacks, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, strokes, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers including colon, breast, and urinary cancer. That's not just by not exercising. It could be just how you came out. It could be that could be anything, but this is something you could get if you do not exercise at all. And this is the end of my speech. Hope you enjoy.
The first thing that you notice is obviously more confidence from Kadaya as a speaker. That level of improvement for all of you is just going to make you that much more comfortable in public speaking situations as time goes on. We did run short. Let's go ahead and watch it again.
Should you
Pause it, you can see that she runs a little bit short of 4 minutes. Not a major issue during the summer. However, there are a couple of things involving slide construction that will help you to do two things. One, fill the time to 4 minutes, and just adding an extra slide or two along with additional personal experiences get you over that 4 minute platform. In the same way that we noticed with Emma's presentation, right at the end, she's including the virtual reality video, which gives her that cushion so she knows that no matter what, she's going to be at minimum within the 4 to 6 minute window. Let's see if we can play this in its entirety. Bear with me for just a moment. I'm going to put the closed captioning on the screen, and hopefully my visual will not leave. I have to be very careful. Okay. We're going to play her speech in its entirety. Bring the audio down. Go ahead and play it. Check out her complete sentence structure with the closed captioning. Look at her webcam. I don't know how large the webcam can be using Canva, but Kadaya, if you have the opportunity to make it a little bigger, like mine on the right-hand side, go ahead and do it. If you are on Loom, Emma and Marilyn know this, you have a variety of sizes. One smaller than what is available with me on the right-hand side, but I'd probably make your webcam a little bit bigger. No problem with the way it's set up. We can see you pretty clearly with the lighting, but here's what I like. I've told you before, this is not easy. Just looking at a camera and talking, that's not easy, or looking at your notes, back up, down, back up. You saw it with Emma. You saw it with Marilyn. You're seeing it with Kadaya. You've seen it with the rest of your classmates with demonstrating or performing those speeches in the last couple of weeks, including performing with the Florida speeches last week. But now with Persuasive, look at her eyes. You can tell that she's really practiced because there are fewer vocalics, fewer issues with drop G's. There are a couple of things as we are about 1:40 into the speech that you can work on. I would practice with Canva, Kadaya, on not only having possibly one or two extra slides on the topic, with the research being obvious here, but also just find some generic visuals of exercise. Or in your case, if you're involved, or any of you are involved in high school or college sports, take something of you or your friends and put it on the screen and talk about the importance of exercise in your case. This is a compelling and persuasive visual. Some of the health issues you're going to have if you cannot exercise, but a visual or a link to a website or a video clip would just be really, really nice. Now, for any of you who don't know how to do that, don't be afraid to ask someone. Remember, you can take from the website different examples, my mass communication website or Blackboard Ultra with all of those speeches that I posted there with the links. How are people bringing interactivity into their speeches? We're now in the last 15 seconds. So she is persuasive, she's likable, she's knowledgeable, and there are a couple of things. Let's pause it here before she gets to the end. Let's take it back to roughly the last minute. Leave the closed captioning on. How is she wrapping this up verbally?
Diseases including coronary arteries disease and heart attacks, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, strokes, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers including colon, breast, and urinary cancer. That's not just by not exercising. It could be just how you came out. That could be anything, but this is something you could get if you do not exercise at all. And this is the end of my speech. Hope you enjoy.
So there she is at the end of the presentation. I'm not going to worry about closed captioning because I always get concerned when I mess around with my webcam that it's just going to zap off of the screen. But if you look at her slides, going back to the beginning, you, Kadaya, the more that you work with Canva, the more comfortable you're going to be with consistency of design, of capitalizing terms such as the S in should, or possibly playing around with the indentation here so it's not up against the screen. Little things like that. The more you feel comfortable with the technology, the better off you will be. Remember, two big parts of being a quality public speaker, face-to-face or online, is being extemporaneous. That's where the conversationality will flow. And you're doing this in such a way where not everything is on the screen word for word, which is nice. On this platform, we'll just scroll ahead to the, I believe you mean to say the beginning of exercising, and double check the spelling because this will have a bearing on your grade. Always run everything through spell check, or if you have a friend, have them look over your shoulder to make certain that everything is exactly the way that you want it to be. I am a stickler about spelling, grammar, syntax, being a media person, but in a good way. That's how you improve. What happens when you don't exercise? Everything's in lowercase here, so at least it's consistent. Side effects of not exercising, and then we get eventually to the end of her speech. I have to be careful here. We'll play it in real time.
Certain cancers including
Go back
colon,
to her
breast, and urinary
title slide.
cancer.
Just let it play in real time. Now, look at her eye contact. That's where you can tell if someone is practiced. Kadaya, I would just say at a minimum, as we're in the last 15 seconds, you need at least one more slide. Then you get to 4 minutes. You can talk more about exercise. You can talk about your personal experiences, and you'll be fine. But I do see improvement. It's like everyone else. The more that you work on these now as you transition from a persuasive to a wild card speech next week, talking about anything you want, that level of comfort will be there. But give me at least one or two more slides so you don't really have any issues in getting close to 5 minutes. I told you at the beginning of class that I was going to refer to session 14, Wednesday's instructor course video, for this reason. I have it on my YouTube channel. I'm going to share it with you in just a moment. Working with this technology, it's never exactly as I planned, so I just wait a moment or so. Watch this in real time with closed captioning up. Listen to me from yesterday for a couple of minutes as I explain one more time the importance of a self-evaluation speech critique. So we have seen 3 different self-evaluation speech critiques. Summer 1, 2023 from Chloe. Summer 1, I'm not certain what happened. Hang on just a moment. 2022 from Scott. Fall semester of 2020 from Matt. And now fall intersession of 2020 from Carly. I'm going to play this, a self-evaluation speech critique from a student who took the course during the fall 2020 intersession, and she provides visual aids. This is from yesterday's instructor course video that's now available, as you can see at the bottom, on my YouTube channel. About 2 minutes. Dateline, December 30, 2020. Here's what she has to say, like the others, an honest but fair self-evaluation speech critique. Quote, Professor Reppert, I feel that I have improved insurmountably in my speech-giving abilities throughout this course. My entire life, I have struggled with public speaking. Every time I even thought about having to speak in front of people, I would break out into hives and become very red around my neck. Throughout your course, I could feel my anxiety levels about speaking dwindling down because of the tools and assistance you provided me. I took pictures of the redness I had spoken about. The first one is from the informative speech, and the second is from the wild card. The redness totally disappeared because of how much more prepared I was for the speech. The change I have experienced throughout the 4 speeches has changed my life and my anxiety about giving speeches forever. If it wasn't for your class and instruction, I would still be afraid to speak in public, and for that, I thank you so much. Carly Carmody, close quote. And she provides, as you can see in her email, 2 photos. The one on the left is from her informative speech, the 2nd of 4. Here on the right is from her final speech that you will present next week, wild card. So for the record, if she's breaking out into hives, what does it look like? I'm not going to move my webcam. I will make her photo centered. Hives prior to her informative speech. At the end of the semester, for the wild card, nothing. Informative, hives, the 2nd out of 4 speeches. A couple of months later, or I should say at the end of the term, 2 speeches later, nothing. So that's why it is so important to watch as much as possible every last minute of every last class session, which is why as time goes on, not only am I providing more speeches for you to watch on Blackboard Ultra and also on the instructor course videos, but I try to practice what I preach. Am I speaking incomplete sentences? Absolutely. But most important in this case, what is Carly doing? for self-evaluation speech critique. And I had mentioned in yesterday's class video, I have 4 different self-evaluation speech critiques from 4 different classes. I have one tab from Summer 1, 2023, one from Summer 1, 2022, one from the fall semester of 2020, and one from the fall intersession of 2020. And I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm speaking in stereo because that's the closed captioning at the bottom of the screen. Let me take this off. If I scroll through, notice what yesterday's instructor course video did. I played a number of examples, as you can see with me scrolling along the bottom, from years gone by. I'll get to roughly the last minute of yesterday's class session and play the end of yesterday's video. That's the last minute and a half, and I'll play it with the audio up. This is the end of yesterday's class. An informative speech video that I get it as soon as possible. I would strongly encourage you to go back and watch all of the videos this week in their entirety. Look at all of the previous examples of persuasive speeches in their entirety. Most importantly, how am I breaking them down? What do I think is important? That's a key for all of you in trying to figure out what works best for me with my persuasive speech this week, what Professor Reppert was talking about at the beginning of today's class session, number 14, looking at the self-evaluation speech critique, and 4 examples from 4 different classes: Summer 1, 2023, Summer 1, 2022, Fall Semester 2020, and Fall Intersession 2020. I look forward to what you have for me this week with persuasive speeches and leftover informative speeches. Good luck. As for SPCH 1113, Introduction to Public Speaking, for the first summer session of 2024, that concludes the recording session for today. Look at the timer at the bottom. I wait a minimum of 3 seconds before I pause the video. That's something that all of you need to get into the habit of doing as well. But I want to officially end this class period by sneaking in a little bit of wild card speech research and topic selection. Remember, guys, the wild card speech can be on anything that you would like to discuss. So Monday of next week, and probably a little bit on Tuesday, we will sneak in additional persuasive and informative topics. I have the official roster. Some of you still need to give me those speeches. I'll try to put those into Monday or Tuesday's instructor course videos for the record, in addition to wildcard speech research on Monday, wildcard speech topic selection on Tuesday. Let me sneak in, with minimal commentary, 2 examples of wildcard speeches. They are both from individuals that you've seen before. The first person that you saw is Kylie Nee, and I will put her video on the screen. She is going to be speaking from a slightly different perspective than she did earlier during the first summer session, where she was in a veterinarian's office. She's literally at the office and has turned her computer monitor around and is giving her presentation off of it, shooting on a cell phone. She's standing here. It's a little bit different. The closed captioning is on. Here it is.
I'm Kylie Neat, and tonight I'm going to be talking to you about puppy mills, starting with what they are in general, and going through why they're bad, what conditions accompany these situations, and then circling back around to what we need to do to stop them. So what is a puppy mill? A puppy mill is a commercial breeding facility that is mostly for your purebred dogs, that emphasizes on quality, or on quantity, not quality, which means that they're trying to push as many puppies out as possible to gain the most amount of profits. Why are puppy mills bad? Most of these animals are kept in poor living conditions because the regulations surrounding these are very lax, and what regulations are there are not enforced. And most of these animals suffer from health conditions that usually are lifelong. The Puppy Mill Project is something that is under the Animal Welfare Act that sets the guidelines for the conditions of puppy mills. These guidelines include, but are not limited to, that there is no limit on the number of animals that can be on the property, which means that there can be up to 200 animals living in one room, which not only for space confinement is a problem, but it is also a problem when in the transmission of diseases from animal to animal. There is no set number of caretakers, so these animals can be alone for long periods of times. There's also no set amount of there's no exercise guidelines for these dogs, which means that they can be in a kennel for 24 hours a day, as long as that kennel meets the size regulations, which is 6 inches larger than the animal, not including the tail. These cages can also be stacked with flooring that has holes in it, which also facilitates the transmission of organisms such as intestinal parasites. These guidelines are there, but not strictly enforced, and they are also not effective enough to keep these animals safe. So there are health issues that surround these animals that are living in puppy mills or coming out of puppy mills. There are hereditary diseases associated with breeding purebred lines only, and as the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals has a list of conditions that are associated with puppy mills, which include epilepsy due to neglect and stress, heart disease, kidney disease, musculoskeletal disorders, which relates back to the hereditary disorders that can be passed down through a purebred line, and deafness due to yeast infections in the ears. Along with health conditions, there is behavioral consequences of puppy mills, which include them being harder to train because of the anxieties that they have associated with training processes. So they're harder to teach to leash walk, to house train, and to crate train. They're also prone to anxiety in social situations, including going to the vet's office, going to the groomer, and that kind of thing. These animals are also more prone to have obsessive compulsive disorders, which includes chewing, licking, and eating. They can also be more aggressive than other animals. And this topic hits so close to home for me because I work in a vet clinic and I see the animals that come out of these puppy mills, and it's so hard for us to get over the hump to get them into a happy forever home and to have a happy life. So this is why we really need stronger guidelines to be set for these facilities, as well as actual enforcement for them. Thank you.
She's easily within the time limit. The pacing is more brisk. It's not unusual because remember, the first speech that you saw from her was informative on heartworm disease. Now her wild card, which can potentially be any combination of demonstrative, informative, persuasive, Something else is being aware of puppy mills. When, in this case, we just look at her slides, her body movement, her ability to remain extemporaneous, eye contact, looking back at her notes, looking at the audience, being poised, confident, knowledgeable, with quality visuals that are allowing her to maintain that eye contact and to be extemporaneous, fortuitous that I paused here, look at her eyes, not unusual to look up and away when trying to think of something that might be a corollary part of what she has on the screen. Let's listen to her final 20 seconds. Make it 30.
Animals. And this topic hits so close to home for me because I work in a vet clinic and I see the animals that come out of these puppy mills, and it's so hard for us to get over the hump to get them into a happy forever home and to have a happy life. So this is why we really need stronger guidelines to be set for these facilities, as well as actual enforcement for them. Thank you.
So it's a strong finish to the course. She's being very sincere. But a wild card speech can be serious or not. It really depends on what you want to discuss. That was from the spring of 2020 during the pandemic. The transition, as you know, from face-to-face to online instruction, you have seen the next person before. Our final wild card presentation of the evening is going to be from Francine Ansley. I was thinking about this whenever she was discussing social media and the influence on education during the pandemic for an earlier presentation. Here, her wild card is really persuasive in nature, which is fine. She's discussing why you should delete all social media. Like with Kylie, the closed captioning is on just in case when you're recording on a webcam or a cell phone and uploading it to your YouTube channel, the audio may not be as consistent. Here's Francine.
Hi, my name's Francine Ansley, and I will be talking about why you should just ditch social media completely altogether. So recently, during this quarantine, I did just that. I deleted Snapchat, I deleted Instagram, Twitter, I deleted any social media. I believe that social media makes people focus more on others. To back this up, when people are using social media excessively, they tend to focus more on others' accomplishments than their own. People seem to focus on how successful others are and tend to compare others' lives with their own. What social media users rarely realize is that the lifestyle showcased on social media by their friends and peers is rarely a steady reflection of what's actually going on in their lives. Those are only the highlights of their best moments, and even if those are their best moments, you shouldn't compare them with your own accomplishments. People's happiness depends on others. Basing your existence around external validation through social media is a dangerous trap which many people frequently fall into. You should not base your own happiness concept on others' likes and love reacts. Rather, you should look at yourself and live in the moment and analyze it if it makes you really feel fulfilled. If you really want to have documentation of what's going on and you want to capture those moments, that's fine. You can take pictures and take videos, but you don't need to have everyone see what you're doing. Just because you don't post it on Instagram or Snapchat doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Social media causes a distorted version of reality. What you see online is rarely reality. All we can see online is these platforms, and all they showcase are people's happy moments, the moments they've chosen to let the public see. This makes us feel conscious about ourselves and makes us doubt our own happiness and what we're doing in our own lives. So social media makes your life too public. Happiness is not the only vulnerable aspect of your life when you use social media. When you're using social media excessively, your privacy is also at risk. For many people, exposing their lives to strangers online is part of daily routine. The more strangers that request people just accept them, because the more followers they have, that means the more likes and comments that they'll receive on their platforms, making other people see how popular they are on social media. Social media prevents people from interacting with loved ones. Posting happy birthday on someone's timeline on Facebook or sending them a message on Snapchat isn't really sincere or genuine, especially since those apps already give you a notification when it's someone's birthday. If you really want to let that person know that you care about them, then you should just see them in person or call them, or if you have to, at least text them. Not engage through social media. It's meaningless. Social media users have a way more difficult time of moving on with their lives. Letting go of past things can be difficult, especially if it's a breakup with your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, and social media makes it even harder. Having a hard time getting over your ex, it's because of social media. You're constantly seeing pictures of them enjoying life on their own, and even with someone else. It can be difficult to process and accept. Also, when the time comes to buckle up and sort out your own life, you can be influenced by your whole social feed full of pictures having fun, people enjoying their lazy Sundays and enjoying the little things in life. You may feel encouraged to postpone important steps in your life and have another day off for yourself as well. So people may argue, well, hey, isn't social media a way to keep in touch with people and to stay in contact and, share parts of your life? That's what the original purpose of social media was. And if you're that person that really wants to stay in contact with people, but doesn't know what to do about the thousands of strangers following you, I would suggest that you delete all your accounts and make new ones and have it set to private and only accept people that you know that you want to see parts of your life. Thank you for listening to this, and I hope I encouraged you to let go of social media apps. Thank you.
What you see with both of these speakers, Kylie, her wild card speech, looking at the problem with puppy mills, or in Francine's case here, why you should delete all social media, what jumps out at me are their levels of sincerity. And I'm not cheating here. I'm not getting up and getting some coffee while these are being played. I could with Loom, but I don't because it automatically takes out my webcam. You can see with my eye contact, I'm paying attention to them. I'm thinking about how they're getting from one point to the next. When you look at their eyes, how are they concentrating in terms of making a point, whether it be from a bullet point or an image? And remember, Kylie and Francine, they sent me their outlines separately, but their delivery is really one of the keys to success in both of their cases in the course. Look at her eyes, the level of concentration as we go through, not really looking off to the side. And remember, these guys had it really tough going from face to face to online during the pandemic. Not easy, which is why I wanted to squeeze these two in specifically from spring 2020 before we got to the long weekend. As we were doing a moment ago with Kylie and all of you, leaving the closed captioning up, how does she conclude it? So let's pick up the last 45 to 50 seconds.
People may argue,
so.
well, hey, isn't social media a way to keep in touch with people and to stay in contact and, you know, share parts of your life? That's what the original purpose of social media was. And if you're that person that really wants to stay in contact with people but doesn't know like what to do about the thousands of strangers following you, I would suggest that you delete all your accounts and make new ones and have it set to private and only accept people that you know that you want to see parts of your life. Thank you for listening to this, and I hope I encouraged you to let go of social media apps. Thank you.
So the level of sincerity and empathy for those facing challenges with social media apps comes through. It's really fascinating when you rewind the clock or go ahead a few years to find out where they are now, both Kylie and Francine. We conclude for the day by returning to Blackboard Ultra. And I have to wait just a moment before the tab comes on the screen. This is in the student preview mode with this reminder for those who still need to give me either a persuasive speech this week, or you're having connectivity or video software issues and I still need to receive an informative speech. Use the weekend to send stuff to me so I can play it Monday or Tuesday in class while also researching wildcard materials. You don't want to be in a position with this being the last week of class coming up, any type of incomplete information. So go to the website, go to YouTube with the syllabus, the course speech schedule, the speech critique, checking Loom, our course itinerary for next week, I'll put up on the screen. We'll go to the syllabus sometime on Monday, but as you know, Monday of the final week, wildcard speech research. Tuesday is wildcard speech topic selection. We sneak in a little bit of both on Wednesday. And my guess is I will be recording on Thursday evening, but I reserve the right to wait an additional 24 hours. But if any of you need to contact me, you have the long 3-day weekend to get to my SAU email address. We don't want to be in a position where there is an open grade at the end of the first summer session. Also, the instructor course videos are now links to my YouTube channel, and that will include session 15 shortly. Over the weekend, I will populate previous examples from 2020 to 2023 with wildcard speeches like here, the last 8 times I taught the course. From 2023 all the way down to spring of 2020. And I'll probably put a few in this location. Over the weekend, a couple of persuasive speeches right there. We'll conclude at announcements. For those of you who gave persuasive speeches this evening, your grades will probably be posted by class time on Monday, more than likely Sunday evening. But when we are looking at wildcard speeches, go back and look at all of the course videos from Summer 1 2024 of what your classmates have done. Or think about something as a wildcard topic that you would really like to discuss, but it didn't really fit into the definition of demonstrating or informing or persuading, or it's on your short list, and this is your opportunity to really wrap a bow around the first summer session. So I look forward to working with you next week as we get into wildcard speech topic selection, wildcard speech preparation. Let's keep up the good work. And if you're like me, but Lord help you if you are, but the constant video breakdown in a positive way is crucial to your overall long-term effectiveness as a public speaker. So pay attention to that. Watch as many of these videos in real time all the way through as possible. As for SPCH 1113, Introduction to Public Speaking, during the first summer session of 2024, that concludes the session for this evening. Have a nice long weekend. We will resume on Monday.